A man who is a boss among bosses. A man who is also a great among the greats, and his name is Fran. With that all being said, Fran, how have you been, brother? It's been a while, man.
Yeah, it's been a while, but I'm always happy to come by and get the people without patience and and those people that we already know who we are talking about, mad,
Mhm.
because they can't take a different opinion and they have to be mad on the internet about someone who they don't even know in real life. So yeah, I'm ready.
Let's do it, man. But yeah, all of what you just said is very true, man. Q, why I have so many dislikes on my Marvel videos. But don't worry, we're gonna keep it safe. Uh, Starting out, Fran, let me ask you this: what did you think of Avengers Endgame overall?
Well, when I went to see it, I think that I was more excited to see Infinity War than Endgame, but I was like
Mhm.
pretty hyped up. Like the trailers were fucking good. Like I think it's the second one when they are all giving their speeches and Peggy is saying the thing like, "We cannot go back, and the best that we can do is to start over." I mean, that trailer is fucking. I mean, that was fucking good. But
Mhm.
I went to go see it, and everything like Iron Man died and everything, and I was crying like a baby in the cinema. And
Mhm.
I don't know, like it finished, and I was satisfied, but it wasn't like everything that I was hoping it to be. Like
Mhm.
I missed things, like where's Hulk fighting Thanos? Why is this a new Thanos now? All the emotional charge that the last film had is thrown away in the first 10 minutes.
Mhm.
I mean, overall, when the score is popping, the Portals score from Alan Silvestri, and the whole speakers are going loud, and Cap is like, Avengers! I mean, the fucking theater went absolutely nuts, and I went absolutely nuts. Like, there were
Yeah.
amazing parts, like when Cap says Heil Hydra and everything, that were like, yo, that's pretty neat, that's fucking good. But overall, I missed things. I mean, without a doubt, I think that Infinity War is better than Endgame. Like,
Mm.
no doubts. What did you think
Uh,
about it?
I thought it. I thought it was good. I thought the latter part of the movie was fucking incredible. I mean, the battle sequence. I mean, everybody in my theater just went like your theater. I'm pretty sure every theater around the world went crazy. You know, when the heroes started reappearing and the final battle commenced, the theater just it was like those pep rallies that in school. You know, when you hype for the team to walk in. Freshmen, sophomore, junior, seniors yell and show your pride. It was like that. But yeah, man, I thought it was good. But like you, I thought I'm gonna be that guy that say I liked Infinity War a bit more. And I don't know if it was just that it's just this is the end or what, but I liked Infinity War a bit more. Um there's some things in Endgame I didn't necessarily like. There were times I was kind of like, well, maybe this is too convenient for the story, what whoop de whoop. But I didn't think Endgame was a bad movie. I just thought it was just a good movie. You know what I'm saying? With that being said, do you think that Thanos was better here, or was he better in Infinity War?
I think that he was way better in Infinity War. Like, way better.
Mhm.
But because
Mhm.
the story, I don't know what the fuck they did. Like, I don't know how many alternatives they had to have Thanos, the original Thanos, fight the Avengers and them to
Mhm.
travel in time. Maybe it was impossible, I don't know. But all that emotional charge that every single one of them had, like, this guy is the one that killed my friends, and Tony should be like, yo, this is the guy who beat my ass in Titan and everything. And I don't know, like it felt so bland. Like in the first one, he was so memorable. He had so many good phrases, and I mean, he also appeared more. But in this movie, it was like I'm not emotionally involved with Thanos. That was the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wanted to see, Tony Stark and Thanos remember when they last fought, and Thanos was telling him something like, "Well, it's gonna be like last time. Am I going to wipe your ass I mean, with my gauntlet
Mm-hmm.
or anything?" But I don't know. It lost something. Without being the original Thanos, it lost me. Like, yeah, he was pretty strong and he looked invincible and he had some great lines where like the you couldn't live with your own failure and where did that bring you back to me, like that was good, but there's no character emotional, there's no connection. It's like if you fight someone in real life and you travel in time and you fight him 5 years before, it's like I'm not maybe that angry at you. I mean, you're the same person, but it's not the same. We haven't gone through the same. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what got me out of the movie a little bit. So I think that, yeah, obviously in Infinity War he's really really good. He's a really really good villain.
Yeah, I was surprised that they, did the thing where they just fucking actually literally went for the head in so early in the film. And I know, people probably have mixed opinions on that. Probably don't, a lot of people probably don't care due to the spectacle at the end of the film. But I'm just like, was it really so wise to do this so early in the film when there was so much buildup that came off of Infinity War? Is that making sense what I'm saying, bro?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because it's always the same. Like they take out the emotional charge. Like
Yeah.
you taking out the original Thanos in the first 10 to 15 minutes of the movie. It's like
Mhm.
what? Like what? Like it all feels a little bit more disconnected from Infinity War. Like they should have had like Thanos maybe reheal his arm with a time stone or something like that, and then destroy the stones, and he could be like strong again or something like that.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, the like I said earlier, I love the final part. That was probably one of the best battles in the MCU so far, aside from the one in Winter Soldier, which was the Winter Soldier is still my favorite MCU film for right now till later on, but um yeah, that final battle in Endgame, that was it was really 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 adrenaline pumping. I mean, some of the surprises and a lot of the callbacks to previous MCU films, which we'll touch on a bit later, and even seeing Pepper step into the fight as well, I was like, holy shit, this is fucking awesome. Um, with that being said, Fran, ironically enough, which moment in Endgame was your favorite?
I think that, I mean, it is a disputed one, but I think that Cap picking up Mjolnir, that was like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was like 5 to 10 years waiting for it, and at last saying, yeah! Like,
Mm-hmm.
fucking hell, it did it cost for him to wield the fucking Mjolnir, but it wasn't worth it. Like,
Right.
when it's all silent and he picks it up and he starts beating the shit out of Thanos, that was like, yeah!
Mhm.
Like, Jesus Christ. And that was really good. And there were some other really good moments where when Cap starts when they're about to go through time, when he says that speech with the score and everything, that was really really good. And
Mm.
yeah, I mean, those were the really good parts, and where I don't really 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 fucking like, that I fucking hated, was Thor. Like,
And we're definitely gonna get to that as well. But go ahead, bro.
I should use the gif of the Godfather when he says, "Look how they massacred my boy." And that was me in the cinema, like, yo, The fuck are
Oh my
you?
god.
What the fuck are they doing? Like Thor was like top one Avenger, Infinity War. Like he was the most badass Avenger ever, and they turned him
Mhm.
into a fucking joke.
Yeah.
And I saw a lot of people on Twitter like, oh, they're making fun of him because he's fat, and I don't really care about that. Like, it was a fucking downgrade, like so bad. Like when I saw
Yeah.
it, and in the film, I was like, okay, maybe he's going to be like this fat now, and when he starts training and training again with a Stormbreaker or something like that, he's going to get fit again. Mm,
Yeah.
no, and the
No.
the hair and everything, I don't know. I don't really like it. Like
Playing
that's a no
Fortnite
no.
and shit. Yeah. Now let me ask you this before we get into Thor. No, no pun intended. Was was pacing ever an issue while you were viewing the movie? Because it was a 3 hour movie, and prior to the release, people said, "Yeah, 3 hour Avengers." And then the movie came out, people were saying that well, it was a little long, but it paid off in the end. I saw some people saying they dozed off during the movie. Whoop de woo. Was pacing ever an issue for you, my brother?
No, I mean I went to see it 2 times, once with my
Mm-hmm.
friends and once with my brothers, and even the second one when I already knew what happened and everything, it
Mm-hmm.
time even passed like faster the second time I saw it. Like I never in the film I was like, this is boring, I want it to move forward. Not like, not in the 2 times that I went to see it. Like
Mm-hmm.
it, every single time that I saw it, I was like, this hasn't been 3 hours. This movie maybe like 2 hours and a half or something like that, but it never felt like a 3 hour film. Because like
Mm-hmm.
the last hour for 45 minutes are like pure cinematic superhero porn. So that goes fast real quick.
Right.
Did you find it like really really long or?
The first viewing, yeah, I was like, get to it. But the second time, I was like, okay, it's cool. Then the third time I watched it, that was hardly the thing on my mind. The third time I watched it, I was like, nah, it's fine. Now getting into Fat Thor, friend, let's talk about Fat Thor. Now Thor is one character that I really took a liking to when in the early days of the MCU. When I'm talking about Phase One, I've watched his first movie. I was like, dang, I really like this movie. And then I get online. I was like, people are like, I don't like this movie. This movie sucks. This movie is ass. And for a lot of people, Thor didn't reach his full potential to Ragnarok, which we're not gonna get into. For me, Infinity War really gave me a Thor that I was like, okay, this is Thor. This is badass, unrelenting, badass Thor, Avenger Thor. And seeing him and do what he did in Infinity War, and then to get to Endgame, where he's kind of that way in the beginning, then he transforms into this couch potato, hairy motherfucking fat ass gnome looking motherfucker with the hammer, with the power still, but he's fat as fuck. Um, it's kind of off putting, in a sense, and I was kind of taken aback by it. I was like, okay, but that being said, he did have some cool moments in the end. Seeing his reaction to Cat lift Mjolnir, that was great. But overall, man, I don't know if that would again. I don't know if I was a fan of him being a fat ass for the sake of him being a fat ass. Because it's like if the Nutty Professor, was all of a sudden skinny like Buddy Love for like 30 minutes, it's like, okay, that's part of the story. But in this case, I'm like, does it make sense for Thor to be a fucking fat ass when he was so badass in Infinity War? With that all being said, what's your thought again on Fat Thor, friend?
I mean, when I saw it in the cinema, I felt like so bad. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was such a downgrade because when you came out of Infinity War, you asked like anyone in the cinema and you were like, who's your favorite Avenger now? And 99% of the people will say Thor. Like that entrance in Wakanda and his fight with Thanos and everything. And now he's just like a fucking joke. Like, yeah, in the end he's strong and everything because he's like the god of thunder and everything. But I don't know, like even the looks, not only because he's fat, but the hair and the beard and everything. I mean, when I saw it, I was like, okay, he's like depressed and everything because it was his fault, and I get it, and it is going to be part of his character in this movie, and that's it. And I thought when they are preparing to go through time and everything, I was like, yo, he's going to start training and shave and everything, and he's going to be like at the beginning of the film. And he fucking didn't. And in the final battle, you could see his huge belly. It was like, fuck, man. Like, no. Like, I mean, he was badass when his eyes turned blue and he had the two hammers and everything. That was pretty good, but it was like, but why? Like, you had the best look and power and everything of the character, and you just trusted out everything out of the window because fun. Hey kids, look, it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
He's going through depression, but let's make it fun. Yeah. We gotta think of the kids. Fuck them kids, bro. Fuck them kids. Like, fucking, man. I don't know why they are so scared of making like not adult decisions, but like
mature.
Yeah, mature, and so let it have its dark moments, you know? Like, I don't know why they are so scared of it. Like, The Dark Knight was, and it is, like, dark as fuck. There's almost like no humor in it, and it's a complex thriller with superheroes in it, and it's fucking dark, and it's like cruel, and it's fucking life, and it made $1 billion. So you don't need to be cringing every 2 seconds jokes. And then I think that you want to talk about that moment, the moment where when Captain Marvel comes and she's like, she isn't alone or something like that, and I was like, yo, like, what the fuck are they doing, man? Like, it's the same as always. Like, I don't mind women and superhero women and everything. I love Wonder Woman, and I love a lot of characters that are women and they are superheroes. I don't have a problem with that, but it felt like so forced.
Yeah,
like everyone around me. What?
No, I said we're definitely gonna talk about that as well, brother. But go on.
I mean, like, everyone around me started talking in each other's ears, like, yo, here's the feminism quote. He's the little feminism part. Like, everyone was joking about it. No one was like, yo, yeah, let's go. Like, everyone was like, alright. Like, when Cap picked Mjolnir, like, the fucking theater went fucking nuts. And when this happened, or when Captain Marvel entered, everyone was like, that's what you call here in the theater.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't really like it because it felt so forced.
Exactly.
Because there were like 20 women there, and in the end only 3 shoot cannons at Thanos, and only Captain Marvel almost made it. Like, the fuck was doing Mantis there? Like, hello? Like, you know what I mean? It's like, why force it? Like, give it time to breathe. Like, make it natural.
Oh Lord. Yeah, bro. That was my exact reaction, bro. Not to cut you off. Did you have any more to add, bro?
No, yeah. So.
Yeah, not to cut you off, but that was my exact reaction, bro. I'm like, okay, my instant reaction was like, okay, Disney, I get it. Bro, Captain Marvel, she's strong as fuck. And to be fair, that moment when she went up against Thanos and I think he hit her and he saw that it had no effect, I was like, oh shit, like, she's really strong as fuck. But the whole scene itself with that blatantly said, yeah, girl power. I mean, I didn't say anything. The guy sitting next to me, he was cheering everybody else when Spidey came in, Falcon, Doctor Strange. everybody got loud as fuck. It was literally like a pep rally. When I just call it quote unquote girl power, when that happened, only a few people clapped. It was literally only a few people. I just kind of shuffled in my seat. I was like, y'all really gonna take it this far, but whatever. Moving on, friend, because I don't want to make it extremely long. What did you think about the final battle overall? Because I've seen some mixed things on that. I thought it was fucking epic. I mean, again, obviously, like you and I both said, Cap getting Mjolnir and then him, switching out with Thor in that one scene, them swapping out weapons, and then Cap going up against Thanos, seeing everybody get resurrected. Of course, Black Panther and Shuri and Okoye coming back first, because you know what I'm saying. But everything. What did you think about the final battle, for brother?
I think that you shouldn't think too much about it. Like, that is just pure enjoyment. Like, maybe it is a little bit messy, maybe some things were like okay, but overall it was like, let's just sit and enjoy the moment. Like,
Right.
when I was in the cinema, I mean, I couldn't clap all the time because I'm not that kind of person, and here in Spain we don't usually clap. Like, this was the first time that I saw people clapping and cheering in a cinema, and I've going to cinemas for a long time, a really long time. And I don't know, like, the final battle was like, yeah, like every scene was like, yeah, and then Ant-Man goes big and he fucking punches a towering monster, and Spider-Man comes by and he reunites with Iron Man, and then Doctor Strange uses new powers and he says, this is the only chance, and Captain Marvel comes in and she fights Thanos, and I don't know, I don't think that you should really think a lot about it. It was just pure fucking enjoyment. Like, basically that's what it was. Like, let's just sit, relax, and see these 10 years of movies come to an end, and let's be happy about it. Like, that's it.
Okay, that's fair. Now, Fran, you've already burned the coast of Jericho, and I'm sure the as I've said repeatedly in a lot of my videos, the like to dislike ratio is gonna be staggering. But who am I to actually give a fuck about a like to dislike ratio? Y'all still gonna watch me and Fran because we're the greatest. With that being said, is there anything you feel Endgame could have done better? And I'm gonna start and just say it simply: Thanos, Hulk, and Thor, and that's it for me. Is there anything you feel that Endgame could have done better, Fran?
Yeah, I mean, I needed that fight between Hulk and Thanos. Like, I needed it, and they stole it from me. So fuck. And Thor, we've already talked about Thor. Like, I didn't really like him. And a little detail that I wanted in the end was Steve without his helmet. Like, I wanted to see Steve like in the first Avengers when he doesn't have the helmet and his hair is out. Like, that would have been so fucking epic. Like, I don't know, in the cinema I was all the time thinking, Joe, take off your hat, and he didn't. So, I mean, it was a small detail overall. And yeah, another thing that I didn't really like was, like, Natasha sacrificed herself after 10 years of movies, and they're like mad for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
like,
we're gonna talk about that
like
too.
Fuck, man, I tried to bring her back, bro, and they're like, all right, when I go get something to eat, yeah, why not? I mean, and Joe, why is Iron Man getting a funeral and is Black Widow isn't? Well, you know, the movie was already too long, and you had time to have Hulk dubbing. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, hello, Marvel Studios? What is wrong with you? The fuck was doing Hulk dubbing, man? That was like, Joe. Like, if you watch the Incredible Hulk, he will like snap anyone in
Oh
half.
my god.
And in the movies, like Hulk out, dab, and I mean, like, what? And why is Thor playing Fortnite 5 years in the future?
Yeah, bro.
Like, Fortnite isn't even going to exist in 5 years into the future. No one is going to keep playing that. Like, the fuck are you talking about, man?
Oh
Like,
my god.
there were some parts of it that were like, I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but okay.
Oh my god.
That really angered me. Like, no, the movie was 3 hours and we didn't have time to have Natasha a proper funeral, and you have
Yeah.
like 2 minutes of forced jokes of Ant-Man. Do you want? I'm Ant-Man. Do you want to take a photo with me? And they're like, no. And Hulk is like, yeah, you can take 2 minutes, like that. And that's like, okay. Like, and Hulk giving tacos to Ant-Man with a happy music in the background. Like, what is going on? Like, I don't know. I really don't know. Like, what the fuck was? There were some parts of it that were like, okay, like, I don't know why are you doing this, but okay.
Yeah. It's a fascinating. Not to cut you off, brother. It's a very fascinating thing, really. Looking at, and you and I talked about this millions of times before. Humor is fine in any movie. Humor is fine, but I don't think it should be to a point where it overrides the seriousness. And I'm not saying Endgame didn't have its serious moments, but because it definitely did, and a lot of those moments I really enjoyed. I was like, wow, this is really good. But you gotta wonder, is this the MCU? Are they gonna? Because they're making, for example, a film. You talk about Black Widow. They're making a Black Widow film, which thank God, because the world needs more Scarlett Johansson. You know what I'm saying? But,
hell yeah.
But you gotta wonder, with a movie like that, you expect it to be like Winter Soldier, a bit more serious, a bit more political, or something, something like that. You gotta wonder, is this gonna be the MCU? Is this gonna be jokey jokes, a little seriousness, more joke, the end, a few credits, the end, boom. And with that being said, Fran, I want to talk a little bit about a guy you and I are very probably familiar with, and his name is James Cameron. Now, people gonna be, oh, why are you bringing up James Cameron? James Cameron is a visionary, a filmmaker, a fan of one of the GOATs, Zack Snyder. Yeah, I had to throw him in there. A guy who has said many things in the past about superhero films. A few years back, he had some choice words about Wonder Woman that I vehemently disagree with. He also has said that some things about superhero movies and fatigue as well. And he also said some things about the Avengers. Now, with that being said, he has some highest grossing films in Titanic and Avatar. However, Endgame eclipsed and became the top grossing film, I think, or has it become the top grossing, or is it right there to beat Avatar? Has it already beaten Avatar, Fred?
It's like 70 or 80 million off. Like, Avatar is still top one, and I think that it is still going to be top one.
Mm-hmm. And James Cameron took the time to congratulate Endgame, in this era of fanboy wars. My side is better than yours. I will worship the ground the MCU walks on. James Cameron took time away from, his lengthy Avatar sequels to congratulate Endgame and everything. What's your thought on all this, man?
Well, I think that it honors him. Like, it isn't that much of a big deal or anything, but it's pure education, pure. I don't like superhero movies, but I'm gonna be extremely mature and be an honest man and say, hey, congratulations on your box office, congratulations on your cultural phenomenon, I hope the best for you, and that's it. And I think that it honors him, and it shows that he's a man with, like, he's a mature man, an intelligent man. He doesn't go like, hey, we have to beat Avatar, people go watch Endgame for the 18th time, we have to beat them. And I'm like, yo, like, I'm all pro, companies and everything and whatever, but why? Like, you are giving money to Disney because you want to beat Avatar? Like, why? Like, that's your problems in life, that a movie that you like has to beat another movie that you don't like because it's not made by your favorite studio? Like, I don't know how well life is treating you, but I'm sure really envious, and I have a lot of envy for you because, man, I don't know, like, yeah, bro, we have to beat it, and we are the Marvel fandom, and we have to beat it because, yeah, go Avengers. And I'm like, I don't know why you are doing this. Like, Disney doesn't care a fuck about you, only wants your money, and that's it. And what are you going to achieve if Avengers Endgame surpasses Avatar?
There you go.
You're gonna be like, yeah, we did it. And now what? You've spent like $400 on movie tickets. Like, congratulations, capitalism wins again. Like, the fuck are you talking about? Like, yeah, boys, we did it. And Disney is like shaking, like, I don't know, like shaking their hands, like, yeah, more money, give it to me. I don't know.
Oh my god, bro.
Like, it is so bad. Like, I see some specimens on Twitter that are like, yo, I don't know if you are 12 or you are mentally retarded. Like, I don't know. I don't know. You go and tell them something, and you're like, yo, maybe, I don't know, I think you're a little bit fanatic about this, and they're like, yo, shut the fuck up, you DC fan, and you're like, yo, relax, I don't do this for a living, I don't work for Warner Brothers or anything, so relax. It is so bad.
Oh my god.
And another thing that you talked about earlier, like, it's not jokes. Like, Marvel tries every time to put that portion of feminism in all their new films. And they are like, yo, yeah, we are so feminist, we have 20 women together fighting, but we can't make even a proper funeral for our biggest female superhero yet. It's like, I see the flaws. Like, you are doing it because right now it's trending, and a lot of people are talking about feminism, and you are an intelligent company, and you have to fulfill that quote. And okay, man, but don't go selling me like you are this progressive, ultra feminist company when you can't even have a funeral for your biggest superhero in the franchise. That's like, don't fuck with me like that, because I'm not buying it. That's it. Show me that you really care about your female superhero heroes if you have Natasha have a proper funeral. But I was like, yo, yeah, I really miss her. Yeah, me too. Alright, let's go get some sharawana. It's like, yo, what the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah. And Fran, the synchronicity is really occurring today because this was really the next thing I wanted to talk about. And before we begin, I want to have a moment of silence and play a little music. So with that being said, let's hold our thoughts and bow our heads for Natasha Romanoff. Now, with that all being said, I want to talk a little bit about Natasha Romanoff. She first appeared in Iron Man 2, was one of the highlights of Iron Man 2 for good reason. I mean, she was badass. She kicked ass. She kicked ass. She looked fucking amazing. It's Scarlett Johansson. Enough said, in the words of Stan Lee, R.I.P. the Great. Um, and she played a prominent role in the subsequent Marvel MCU films that came after Iron Man 2. Obviously she was an Avenger. She played in all of the Avengers films. And there were talks of a spin-off film for her character for years. And it seems like it finally is going to be a thing. Now, a lot of people are seemingly believing that it will come about next year, released next year. David Harbour, shout out to him, is going to be playing a role in the film as well. And regardless of what the MCU does next, I am intrigued to see a Black Widow film if it's done really well and not just the joke fest. And I think it could be a really, really, really good film. And man, I just really regret that they didn't at least give her like you so graciously went in on them earlier for not doing. I'm really, really, really disappointed that they didn't give Natasha a funeral, man, because she was one of the first Avengers. She's been there in the small battles, and she's been there in the world-ending battles, whether it's in Sokovia, whether it's in Wakanda, or even most recently her giving her life in Endgame, man. And for her not to have a funeral and it to just be brushed to the side is just really disappointing. And I really admired her character through and through. She was badass. I mean, it's Scarlett Johansson, and even if it wasn't Scarlett Johansson, if it was Elizabeth Olsen, playing Black Widow, I'd be like, what the fuck? But what? Talk to me a little bit more about Black Widow, brother Fran.
Well, I think that she had. I mean, I think that she had like a proper character development, and I don't think that she was like the typical pretty girl in superhero movies. There were some moments with Joss Whedon. We already know what a creep Joss Whedon is. It's nothing new. When he has a fetish for guys falling on top of women's boobs. I don't know why. It's a weird fetish. Whatever. We gotta respect it. So I think that she was well fleshed out. I think she was really important in the story, and I'm really happy to see that she's getting her own movie. Like, if they go in the Winter Soldier style, like spies and everything like that, I think it's going to be really good. But I don't know. It feels like such disrespect in Endgame. Like, Joe, we've been seeing this superhero since like 2011, 2010 with Iron Man 2. And like she dies, and the scene is like sad, but I didn't really even cry. Like, no one in the theater cried because it was in the middle of the movie, and they come back and like, yo, where is she? Well, she sacrificed herself, and Hulk is mad, throws a fucking chair to the lake, and they're like, all right, let's go snap it again. It's like, yo, I don't know, like, have a funeral, talk a little bit more about her. It's like 5 fucking minutes. Like, we gotta make it is worth it. And Steve is like, we will. They snap, and they fucking forget about her, like, until the end. When Hawkeye says, like, I wish she was here to see this, and one day's like, is like, yeah, they both are seeing us from another place. Yo, they are giving the same importance to Black Widow. Like, Vision has the same importance as Black Widow. Like, are you kidding me? That's something that I can understand, man. Like, they are all the time like, yeah, we're strong women. Let's go, yeah. We have to delay Captain Marvel 5 years because we weren't sure, and when Wonder Woman was a hit, we made Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
A Black Widow movie well, I mean, I think that it was supposed to be like after Avengers, and we didn't have the balls, and now we are doing it like 6 years late. And right now we are like, yeah, 20 women in a single frame, woo, girl power, and you can even
Mhm.
give a fucking proper funeral for Black Widow. Like, get the fuck out of here, like. I
Yeah.
I don't know who you are trying to, buy or anything, but I ain't fucking buying it. No fucking way. Like her whole character was like okay. There were some forced sexual jokes that were like okay, like I'm not going to complain about it, but it was like okay. Why is Hulk falling on Black Widow's tits? I don't know. And I don't know. Like I sometimes I can't understand Marvel. I really can't.
Yeah, man. And with all that being said, RIP to Natasha, man. I sincerely hope, like you said, Fran, it's more in a Winter Soldier s type film. You know, they deal with espionage. We get to see more of her background, how she became who she was. And with a guy like David Harbour starring, he typically, until most recently, picks good scripts. So I'm hoping this film is one of those standout MCU films. You know what I'm saying, and not just what we're used to. Moving on, Fran. Let me ask you this, and I kind of know the answer to this question, but I want to get more clarification for the viewers. Do you feel the film could have done more with Hulk? And my disappointment overall with Hulk, aside from the first 5 minutes of Infinity War when he went at Thanos and he was, they were going at. I was like, yeah, that's the Hulk, the ferocious Goliath I want to see. And then to him, basically kind of having a dysfunction of sorts towards the end where he can't really be Hulk, but he's in the Hulkbuster armor, to him being Professor Hulk and Endgame, and like you said, dabbing, taking fan photos, not being the Hulk of Edward Norton where he's just ferocious and going at the villain. What do you think they could have done more with Hulk? Because Universal kind of still has this thing with Hulk to where he can't really have his own solo film, but he can appear in the MCU films. If that's something that people wanted to know. What do you think they could have done differently with Hulk?
Well, I think that maybe the Professor Hulk wasn't that bad of an idea, but I don't like in the final battle I needed that fight between Hulk and Thanos. Like I
Mm-hmm.
needed it. Like it is going to be the redemption of the Hulk. Like I wanted the Hulk to take control of the body. Like
Mm-hmm.
maybe he goes full mad and Van is like, yo, what's happening? I had this control for 5 years. Ooh, Deus Ex Machina. Ooh. And now like he hulks out and he becomes like fucking angry and the Hulk again, and he goes like fucking running against Thanos, and they go at each other for 5 fucking minutes and they both get fucking wrecked. And
Mm-hmm.
instead we don't even see a single scene between Hulk and any of Thanos, or we're not with Thanos obviously, but we don't even see him fighting like normal enemies. Like
Mm-hmm.
he's just there when Ant-Man brings them out of the building, and he has his
Mm-hmm.
arm all burnt off, and I'm like, yo, he's the Hulk. He's like withstand in the comics. He has withstand like fucking supernovas and stars blowing up and the energy, and he was like all burned up, and in 5 seconds he was good again. And in the
Mm-hmm.
film, I don't know why the fuck he doesn't heal himself. That's like okay, but it was like I mean it wasn't bad. Like I bought it, and the CGI was fucking on point. Like not even one single time in the movie I was like, yo, this is like CGI. I was really buying it, but he didn't do anything more than being a scientist like Banner was. Like,
Mm,
I don't know why did they mix them together if he isn't going to fight anyone. Uh,
right.
it was like Banner but bigger and in green. It was like, okay, all right, and I mean, like, congratulations to him because he was the one that snapped everyone back, but it felt I felt disappointed, like the same as Thor. Like, it was more than anything disappointment. Like, everyone in Marvel was like, yeah, because in Endgame it is going to be a closure to Hulk's whole arc, because this is an arc between Thor Ragnarok, Infinity War, and Endgame, and this and that, and he goes fucked in Infinity War, and in Endgame you don't even see anything about him. He's just been the same scientist he's been all these past movies. So it was like, okay, you know, that's the thing, that Endgame was like a great experience, but there's a lot of holes in there. Like, this doesn't really work, at least not
Mm-hmm.
for me.
I got you. I got you. Now let me talk to you a little bit about Iron Man, Fran. And this is something I've seen tossed around and debated fiercely. Um, do you think that Iron Man's greatest moment was him becoming Iron Man or his ultimate sacrifice in the end of Endgame?
I mean, obviously more important is his sacrifice, but I think that's what I've seen a lot of memes and images about that. Like, when in the Avengers, Tony Stark says to Steve, like, you are nothing but everything special about you came out of a bottle, and he
Mm-hmm.
later lifts Mjolnir, so it's like he's not only that, he's a great man and everything. And then
Right.
Steve tells Iron Man, like, you are not going to be the one who makes the sacrifice play, because you are so
Mm-hmm.
selfish, because along all these movies he changes a bit in the first one and everything, but
Mm-hmm.
he's a selfish man, and in the end he makes the ultimate sacrifice. So I think that that's like the highest point of Iron Man in the MCU, because it's him not being selfish anymore and being he needs to be, and sacrificing his life just to save everyone. So I think that that's like the whole idea. His whole arc was stop being selfish and save everyone that you love. So I think that was pretty good and pretty powerful.
Gotcha. 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 Now, Fran, you again went in on went in on Disney and Marvel Studios earlier for this, but we're finally about to talk about Captain Marvel and, as I like to call it, the girl power scene. Now, now to clear the air, Fran, I'm gonna go ahead and provide my thoughts first. I think Brie Larson is a talented actress. For those that don't believe me, please watch Short Term 12 and Room. She also favored one of my tweets a few years back in regards to one of those films. Not to brag, but yeah, I got it like that. Now she made some comments right around the time Captain Marvel was getting ready to release. She's made a lot of comments in regards to critics. Her attitude has came off as snobbish to a lot of different people, and there's been this Brie Larson hate train that's gone full steam, even with Captain Marvel grossing $1 billion, even with a lot people seemingly liking the movie. Um, the moments I saw of her in Endgame, I was like I said, I did like the scene when Thanos, basically hits her and he realizes it has no effect on her. I was like, oh shit, like she's really strong. But the whole scene with, you know, girl power, that's blatantly saying girl power. It's like, okay, here's the, if you want to call it propaganda or quote unquote Disney agenda, here you go, girl power, whoop de woo. I didn't really care for the scene. Again, nobody in the theater I was in had a reaction to it. Unlike the when the heroes came back or when Cap got Mjolnir. nobody really reacted to the whole girl power scene at all. Um, what did you think about Captain Marvel and Endgame? Because you've seen Captain Marvel in the movie, Fran, as well. What did you think about her in Endgame, and also provide some remaining thoughts on the girl power scene in Endgame as well, brother?
I think that she was. I mean, the amount of screen time that she had in Endgame was perfect. Like I
Mm,
was really scared that they were going to use her along all time in the movie. Like, yeah, because she's super powered and she's going to save the day, but they didn't. Cheers to that.
mm-hmm,
That would have been like a cheap trick. And I think that
mm-hmm,
the moments when I saw that she had like cut her hair, I was like, okay, I like it. Like in the cinema, I was like, yeah. Like I mean, she didn't have like the mohawk, but I was like so into it. I really liked that she like cut her hair because
mm-hmm,
it reminded me more of the comics. And
mm-hmm.
like when she comes by and she's like, when Rhodey says like we are all about that superhero life and everything, and she's like, well, you didn't have me, and you're like, okay, like I guess that's part of her character, all right. And in the end, when Thanos like headbutts her or something like that, and she
Mm-hmm.
doesn't move, I was like, yo, that's badass. Like I really like
Yeah,
that. But later
yeah.
he picks the Power Stone and he sends her to I don't even know where. And I think like I really enjoyed Captain Marvel in Endgame like 100 times more than I enjoyed her in Captain Marvel. Like in Captain
Mm.
Marvel, that was like, Joe, let this movie finish because I'm not really liking it. So please let it finish. And the whole, like girl power scene is what I said before, that you can't tell me that and with one hand you are shaking my hand and with the other one you are stabbing me. It's like you can say that you are, yeah, because yeah, inclusivity and feminism and girl power, and in the end you are just doing it because of one scene. But when it comes to treating your superhero, um, female superheroes, you are treating them like shit. So that's all I had to say that I didn't say before. That you can't sell me that you are like, yeah, girl power and everything because of one scene, and when you have
Mm.
to really show that you care for your female superheroes, you don't show it. You don't show any love.
Mm.
So you ain't tricking me. I'm telling you that.
I feel you, bro. Let me ask you this, Fran. Now, I'm sure you've seen the Disney Plus streaming service will debut in November. It will be $6.99 at least on launch. I'm expecting it'll be $30.99 by the time you and I are both 40. Uh, some Marvel shows that will be coming about, notably WandaVision, Loki, and Falcon and Bucky. Now, we know that Steve anointed Sam, well, basically gave him the shield for him to, take up the mantle. And for a lot of people, that was unexpected because they were expecting Bucky, uh, a guy who has also been with a lot and is Steve's longtime friend, to take up the shield as opposed to Sam. Um, with all that being said, Fran, what's your thought on Disney Plus? These Disney Plus shows, Falcon and Bucky. I guess we should be calling him Captain Falcon and Bucky. And what did you think about Steve anointing Sam the new Captain America?
Well, I thought, I mean, in the beginning of the scene, I thought like he was going to give it to Bucky,
Mm-hmm.
but they later explained that Bucky was tired of fighting and he just wants to rest and everything, and it's like, yo, he's having like this Disney Plus TV series, and I don't think that he's going to be giving flowers to his enemies. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
going to keep fighting, so whatever. And I don't, I mean, I really wanted Bucky to have the shield, but when he gave it to Sam, I was like, yo, that's alright. You know, I don't have a problem with it. I saw a lot of people like, hey, ain't my Captain America going to be black? And I was like, yo, so what? Like, it's not that big of a
He's been
deal.
Captain America in the comics.
What?
I said he's been Captain America in the comics
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
but that's
Like
a whole nother conversation.
a lot of comics had Captain America being Falcon, so I don't see the problem. And I don't know. I think that it was alright. Like, I don't even know what they are going to do in their own TV series. Like, is he going to be wielding the shield all the time, or I don't really know. But I'm excited. I mean, that I'm only excited for Bucky and Falcon, like WandaVision and Loki and everything. I'm not really that excited. And I'm obviously not going to pay Disney Plus, because if I had to pay Disney Plus and Netflix, and I had to pay Spotify, and I'm not rich, so I'm going to be pirating it. Sorry, Disney. I'm sorry that you are not going to be getting like $80 billion this year. You're only going to be getting 79. Sorry, but I'm not going to be paying monthly for all those things. I'm sorry.
Right. And it's really this is a whole nother video and topic, but it's really disturbing how many streaming services are just popping up out of nowhere and how many more there are to come. I mean, WB is releasing one. I think CBS has one as well, and I'm sure there's a lot more to come. And they really need to be looking at the effect that that's going to have on the person that uses Netflix or Hulu at the time for their version of cable, and with them making all these shows exclusive to their streaming services, what that is really going to cost. But like I said, that's a whole nother video. And finally, Fran, we'll close after this. How would you rank the Avengers films, brother?
I mean, is Civil War included? Because that's a fucking Avengers films, everybody.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
It ain't no Captain America Civil War. That's Avengers 3, bro. But
yeah,
okay.
bro. You can't.
Like, okay. I think that it's going to be like, the first one is going to be Infinity War. The second one is going to be Endgame. And it's a close one in the third one. Like, Age of Ultron didn't deliver what it said that it was going to deliver, but there are some pretty good scenes in it. Like, I really enjoy that movie. I don't really know why, but I really enjoy that movie. So I think that I'm gonna put Age of Ultron in third position and Avengers in the fourth one. Like, Avengers is like, I enjoy that it has like that aspect ratio, like the full screen is showing image, but it all feels like a cheap TV show. Like, the special effects and everything, you look at it and you're like, yo, this looks like the CW TV. This looks like this new Batwoman shit that fucking hell. So it's like, man. Yeah, I really do prefer Age of Ultron, because the Avengers was like, I mean, it's a fun movie and you're never bored in it and everything and whatever. But I really enjoy, as a movie, I enjoy more Age of Ultron than I do the Avengers. And obviously Infinity War in top of Endgame. Endgame has some of the best scenes and moments that I've seen in any superhero movie. But as a film, as a movie, Infinity War, I think that it's far better. What's your ranking?
For me, it had to be Infinity War first, definitely. Second is gonna be shit. This is a lot harder than I thought it was. Second is gonna be second will be probably the first Avengers, even in all its corniness, and even though it hasn't aged well, just that feeling coming out of it, you know, it still holds up. Third will probably be third, Endgame. Fourth, Age of Ultron. I need to rewatch Age of Ultron because I watched some clips from it a few weeks back, and I was like, damn, this is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. You know, at first I didn't like it due to the fact how they treated Ultron like a comedian. The majority of the movie, and of course, Quicksilver's death, because I really like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I think he's a really good actor and everything. But yeah, Age of Ultron last, and yeah, Civil War. It's an Avengers movie as well. It just has Captain America and Civil War in the title. But yeah, it's an Avengers movie. It's somewhere between 2 and 4, like 2.5 or 3.5 or something like that. I don't know, but yeah.
I mean, I saw Civil War not so long ago, and I was like really surprised of how much I really liked it. Like I don't know why I really enjoy it. And everyone's like, yeah, because Kevin Feige had everything planned out from the beginning and this and that, and then like Civil War was a movie in response to Batman v Superman. Like it was going to be Captain America: The Secret Society or something like that. And it became Civil War because of BBS. So yeah, we stay winning, bro. That's the T. But I don't know. I think that, and that's another thing. Like everyone is like, yeah, because Civil War was like groundbreaking, and oh my god, the Martha scene is so funny and this and that. Yo, you saw in Endgame when Captain America is fighting himself, and he's like, Bucky is alive, and the past Captain America stops fighting and he wins. I was like, yo, that's the fucking Martha moment.
Yeah.
And no one is fucking complaining about it. I was like, in the cinema, I was about to explode. Like, that's the fucking Martha moment that everyone laughs about. You just saw it again in a Marvel movie for the 25th time with Bucky, and no one is talking about it. That's right.
Yeah, it's fascinating, bro. It's really fascinating how. Yeah, it's fascinating. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the conclusion of this very lengthy discussion in regards to Avengers Endgame. As I always say, these are the opinions of ours, so do not get triggered that they are not yours. Thank you all so much once again for tuning in. Subscribe, like, and comment, and I'll leave a link to Fran's channel in the description. And we'll see y'all next time.
Bye-bye.